Coming up today, weekly film breakdown session, something I like to call pivot point on this episode of Seahawks Forever. We'll look at what happened up front on both sides of the ball to turn this game around as the Seahawks get away with a 37-31 overtime win against the Lions to go to 1-1. Some unexpected sources contributing to this game. A point in the third quarter that swung the momentum in the Seahawks' favor. It happened on defense and allowed the offense to take the lead. I'll break that down for you. Also, some news today, some roster manipulations. The Seahawks add an intriguing fourth tight end to the roster. What does that mean? And I have highlights of Brady Russell. We'll show you what it looks like. He might look familiar to you in some ways. That and more coming up next on this episode of Seahawks Forever.
Welcome to the Seahawks Forever podcast. In-depth analysis on everything Seahawks. And now, here's your host, Dan Viens.
How we feeling, guys? Midweek, coming off a big win, which followed a heartbreaking and confusing week one loss. How you feel about this team? Pretty good? Heading into a home game, week 3, against the Panthers. And their young quarterback, Bryce Young. Feel a lot different than last week, doesn't it? We're going to break down the turning point of that game in a moment as I take a look at some All-22 film. And we have some personnel news. But before that, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you would, please. If you like what I do, buy me a coffee or a beer. Link in the description. If you listen on audio or Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Not quite sure why the other podcast apps don't have that feature, but Apple does. And it certainly helps with placement of the show. I am Dan Viens. This is Seahawks Forever. So the Seahawks make a couple of roster moves this week that are very interesting. One yesterday that I speculated on Twitter might be a hint at something that was going to happen. And I was correct on that. Mike Morris placed on the injured reserve today. We knew there was something going on with that shoulder. They had a procedure done on it, and then Pete said they had to get some more information on it. Hopefully it's just the 4 games because I think he can really help up front. But interestingly enough, no corresponding move yet to bring another defensive lineman into the fray. Although we could see that Sunday. They could elevate Matt Gotel at game time. Still some openings on the practice squad. Look for potentially Jacob Sykes to be added, but that wasn't the immediate move. Artie Burns signed to the 53-man roster yesterday. Played against the Lions. Played instead of Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson didn't get any snaps on Sunday except on special teams. So, and everyone else, is this a hedge against Reek Woolen not coming back quick enough from that chest injury or not being ready? Perhaps, but they could have just elevated him again from the practice squad. Some have speculated maybe Jackson is available in trade. I wouldn't dismiss that idea. Remember, the Seahawks acquired Kyu Blue Kelly, 5th-round draft pick of the Ravens, at the cut down. But the really interesting move came today as the Seahawks signed Brady Russell off the Eagles practice squad. He's a tight end, and he's on the 53-man roster. When you poach a player off a practice squad, you have to put him on the 53. Brady Russell, 6'3", 247 pounds out of Colorado, 45 catches, 460 yards the last 2 seasons, no touchdowns. Interestingly, 2 years ago, he was invited to the Senior Bowl, but then chose to go back to school for 1 more year and complete his graduate degree, I believe. Didn't go to the combine. Hard to find all the measurables on this kid. Although Chad Reuter at NFL.com did list him after the draft as one of the best remaining undrafted tight ends. He was undrafted, signed by the Eagles. He was on that list of best available after the draft, along with, coincidentally, interestingly, Noah Gindorf and Griffin Hebert, 2 other undrafted tight ends the Seahawks signed. Really intriguing move for a number of reasons. First of all, they have Tyler Mabry on the practice squad. So this isn't about, hey, we need a 4th tight end. We saw how much how many 3 tight end sets they used against the Lions to help mitigate some of those, the injuries up front on the offensive line. Although you're going to see in the film breakdown today that some of the key plays in this game, Jake Curhan just on an island by himself on the right side. So does this mean maybe there's an injury we don't know about? Is Noah Fant potentially available in trade? Or is this simply a guy that they really, really liked, lost out to the Eagles, and had a chance to acquire him long-term? Will Dissly, the only tight end of this group that is signed beyond this year. And so this highlight I'm showing is from the Eagles preseason game against the Browns. That's Tanner McKee, undrafted free agent quarterback out of Stanford, throwing the touchdown pass to Russell. The scouting report, you can see it on this play. Really athletic, runs a 4.65 40. Soft hands, really natural receiving tight end, and check out the flowing mane. So now, you put him in a set next to Colby Parkinson, and that's pretty dynamic. That's a 1-2 long flowing locks tight end combo that I don't think anyone can compete with in the league. I think this is just a case of the Seahawks like a player and see an opportunity to potentially get a guy that they like long term when there might be some contract issues coming up after the season. Let's get into the film breakdown. I call this pivot point. It's more than just one play, some on defense, some on offense, and some really neat contributions from a lot of Jake Curran here and Mario Edwards stepping up and doing some cool stuff at a key point in the game. Here is this week's pivot point. All right, so to me, this is the key point in the game. This is where momentum really shifted in Seattle's favor. They already got back into this thing early in the second half, right, with the forced fumble and then the ensuing touchdown. But at this point, late in the third quarter, Detroit still has the lead, 21-17. Lots of talk this week about how aggressive Dan Campbell is going forward on fourth down, maybe to a fault. And lots of talk about work that the Seahawks still need to do on defense. Obviously, their run defense last year, their Achilles heel. This is minute 7 left, third quarter. Again, Detroit's still up 21-17. It's 3rd and 2. And the Rams, or the Lions, just try running the football. Up the middle, Jahmyr Gibbs. Power running football. They're pulling some guys into the hole. Seahawks get a stop. Watch it from the end zone angle, and then we'll show you some good stuff that's happening. Bobby Wagner ends up with the tackle here. Obviously, that's one of the offseason additions, bringing him back, that we all expected to help improve the run defense. Let's back it up here again, though, because you see some other pretty cool stuff here, too. You're going to see Jordan Brooks, who just had another outstanding game. Still just unbelievable that this guy is back 9 months after ACL surgery and playing at such a high level. I mean, he's going to read this play, and he's going to penetrate. He's going to close off any chance of a cutback here from Gibbs. But watch the work by Mario Edwards here. Like, he kind of wins up front here and impacts this play, which allows Bobby to go in and make the play. So 3rd and 2. So the Lions go for it. Dan Campbell, some people have called him such a great nickname, Dan Gamble. You're going to try to throw the football here on 4th and 2. Little play action, something that worked for them. Seahawks force an incompletion. Watch the end zone look. Devin Witherspoon on the coverage there. Again, some really cool stuff happening. Once again, Mario Edwards is in the middle of it. So let's take this back. Brooks is going to come on a blitz, right? He's going to come after Brooks, or after Goff. He's going to make him move, right? Goff's going to have to come out of his bubble a little bit, which forces him right into the path of Derek Hall, who just takes an outside power rush move. I mean, that's his go-to at this point in his career, right? Watch Mario Edwards again win at the point of attack. Just pushes the guard back and affects the throw. Witherspoon was in good position there anyway. So the Seahawks get a huge stop on 4th down. This is the ensuing drive. 3rd downs were the difference in the game against the Rams, defensively and offensively. They couldn't convert. Watch how easy this is. This is 3rd and 5, 12:30 left in the 4th quarter on the Lions 17. Geno's got all day. Easy pitch and catch to Tyler Lockett. Look at the reaction from the corner there. Like that was too easy. How am I supposed to defend that? Watch the play of the offensive line. This is where this play is made. It makes it an easy throw for Geno Smith. And I'm not gonna try to say that this was a play that Geno made. Every quarterback in the NFL, every starting quarterback in the NFL should be able to make this throw, but this throw is possible because of what happens up front. An offensive line that people were terrified about. Fans gave us no chance against the Lions because, James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, John Kaminsky, those guys are going to come after us. Watch what's going on here. Jake Curran's on an island. The Seahawks ran a lot of 3 tight end looks here, especially in overtime, to help out. But here they don't. So what do you got here? You got Kaminsky here and Hutchinson out wide, right? That wide 9 thing. They're gonna twist. Watch how Haynes and Curran work together. I mean, Hutchinson, number 2 pick in the draft, right? Rookie of the Year candidate last year. Get stonewalled. They get nothing going. I mean, Haynes does such a nice job of recognizing it, helping out a little bit on Hutchinson, and then just making sure that nobody comes back inside. Also watch something here too. Just focus on Evan Brown if you want to on this play. He's one-on-one here, and he just wins. He just absolutely locks up the nose tackle here and wins this rep. That's outstanding work from Phil Haynes. Makes it an easy conversion. Now let's go to overtime, right? This is fun. This is the bonus material. To me, that the pivot point, as it were, was that 3rd and 4th down stop, which led to the next touchdown drive. This is overtime. This is really, really good stuff from Geno Smith. I'm just going to play it. You remember the play. Do you remember the play? It's another 3rd down. This one's 3rd and 6, 8:35 left in overtime. And he hits DK Metcalf for 16 yards from the end zone all freaking day to throw the football, throws a dart to DK. It's actually slightly behind him. DK's not his first read here. You can see that. Again, let's go back here and watch what's happening up front. Same alignment for Detroit, except they're not going to stunt, right? Aiden's just going to try to beat Jake Curhan because he says, I got him one-on-one. I got him one-on-one here. I am a beast. This backup tackle can't beat me. This backup tackle can't keep me from impacting the throw. DJ Dallas is in here with an option to pass protect, and he even recognizes I don't even need to chip on this guy, and he's going to kind of leak out here as a little bit of a check down. And Geno's looking here. He's looking this way. You'll see he really wants to go this way, and it's not a cursory, contrived, like I'm going to look off the safety. DK's like his 3rd read, it looks like. Watch Evan Brown again too. I mean, there's nobody there now, but he just takes care of everything in the middle. But this is all about Jake Curhan, just locking up Aiden Hutchinson one-on-one. Geno has all day to throw, is able to come back to his third read and hit Metcalf for a huge, huge, huge third down, which leads to this. Got to show the walk-off touchdown, right? And yeah, we'll talk about this. Is again, they leave Curran on an island. Hutchinson wins that rep, forces Geno off his spot, where he's able to find Tyler for the touchdown. And let's talk about it, okay? Did Curran hold Hutchinson here? Maybe. Maybe gets his arm around him, right? Does he really impact the play? Would Hutchinson have gotten to Geno if this doesn't happen? Is this the kind of play that happens on just about every down in the NFL? You can argue it all day long. I'll say this as we play it. Let you be the judge. A lot of Lions fans said the refs won this game for the Lions. But you know who didn't mention that at all? The Lions. Their players, their coaches, none of them talked about it. They gave credit to the Seahawks. We got beat. We got to work on our pass rush. We got some issues there. Some of the key plays from that game just really highlight how outstanding that offensive line was. Just against some really, really good young pass rushers and a defense that was supposed to get after the quarterback. And it wasn't always because they were helping him out. Jake Curhan just flat out did his job on the right side. He gave credit to Jason Peters with some tips that he gave him on his pass sets during the week and just the limited time they had together. But let's give credit to Andy Dickerson too, right? The offensive line coach for the Seahawks, getting these guys ready to play. Stone Forsythe on the left side, Jake Curhan on the right side. Outstanding work by those guys and some signs of improvement up front on that defense. As much as they're struggling to get to the quarterback, as much as we've talked about Draymond Jones, Mario Edwards, maybe not making their presence felt. We're not calling their name a lot. They're not racking up a bunch of tackles. They're not getting after the quarterback. They did some pretty cool stuff in the run game, and it helped them to get an improbable win and get the Seahawks to 1-1. All right, you guys. Hope you like that. You know, I'm still kind of learning the best way to use the drawing tool, and actually there's some things I don't love about it, so I'm checking out some other things out there. But it's fun for me. I hope it's fun for you to look at. Just get a little bit of a deeper understanding of some things happening on the field, and kind of going beyond the stats. Sometimes I'm guilty of it. I talk about it on the show all the time, that we think players aren't contributing because they're not showing up in the stat sheet. Sometimes they are, especially in this scheme. I've been told a lot this week. I tweeted something out about Draymond Jones the other day, and some people came back at me at hey, he's doing some of the dirty work. Maybe for $51 million over 3 years, you want more flash plays than that, but he's doing the dirty work, and you know he's new to the system. Once he gets comfortable, maybe we'll start to see some of those dynamic plays. But Mario Edwards doing some of that dirty work and helping the Seahawks win, which is ultimately the goal, right? Seahawks Panthers this Sunday. Tomorrow I'll have my preview show looking at the Panthers with Jeff Rickard, a local sports director there who helps cover the team. So look for that. And any other injury news, I'll update that as we go along. Follow me on Twitter at Seahawks Forever. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, buy me a beer or a coffee if you'd like to. Link is in the description. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and listening to the channel and the show. I'm Dan Viennes. That's going to do it for now. Forever and always, go Hawks.